Welcome to our deep dive into the world of non-human identities in cyberspace.
Right.
We're talking bots, smart devices, virtual agents,
Right.
basically anything online that isn't human but acts like it.
hmm
Think that's just for techies. Think again.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some cutting-edge research here,
Yeah,
and it's clear that this stuff is relevant to everyone.
absolutely.
So it's fascinating is how much of our online world is already shaped by these non-human identities, or NHIs as we'll call them.
Yeah.
Did you know that estimates suggest that like 40 to 60% of internet traffic is generated by bots, not humans?
It's wild, isn't it?
That's a surprisingly high number.
Yeah.
What are the implications of so much online activity being driven by bots?
That's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Okay.
We'll look at what NHIs are, why they matter for you, and the cybersecurity risks and opportunities they present.
All right, so let's start with the basics.
Yeah.
Can you give us a clear definition of what exactly we mean by non-human identities? It's a pretty broad term.
It is, you're right. It's a rapidly evolving field, and the lines are getting blurrier all the time.
Right.
Essentially, we're talking about any computing system,
Okay.
device, or software that can act independently in the digital world, often interacting with us,
Mm-hmm.
or even other NHIs.
So we're not just talking about those spam bots that clog up our inboxes. Something much bigger.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Exactly. Think about your smart thermostat adjusting your home's temperature,
Okay.
or a self-driving car navigating traffic.
Mm-hmm.
These are all examples of NHIs becoming increasingly integrated into our lives.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it also sounds a little unnerving.
Sure.
What about those robotic toys kids love these days?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard those can be hacked.
Yeah. You're right to be cautious.
Oh, wow.
The research actually highlights a case where a popular robotic toy was hacked to spy on children.
Really?
Yeah, this is a prime example of how NHIs can be exploited for malicious purposes.
That's a bit scary.
Yeah.
It seems like this blurring of human and non-human online raises some serious security concerns.
Absolutely, and the research really digs into that.
Yeah.
One of the key takeaways is that we're not just dealing with traditional hacking anymore.
Right.
We're facing a new breed of threats driven by AI-powered bots that can bypass traditional security measures.
Wow. So even large corporations and governments are at risk.
Definitely, one study found that 70% of data breaches in the financial sector
Wow.
are now initiated by AI-powered bots.
That's
It's like something out of a spy thriller.
crazy.
But this is the reality we're facing.
Wow, that's alarming.
Yeah.
So what kinds of threats are we talking about specifically? What should we be aware of?
Well, one major concern is data breaches and unauthorized access.
Okay.
These sophisticated bots can infiltrate systems,
Yeah.
steal sensitive information, and even manipulate data for malicious purposes.
So it's not just about stealing our credit card numbers anymore.
Mhm.
They could potentially manipulate our medical records or even tamper with election results.
Exactly. The potential consequences are huge.
Yeah.
Economic loss,
Oh, yeah.
brand damage, even threats to national security.
This is heavy stuff.
It is.
It seems like we're entering a whole new era of cyber warfare
Mm-hmm.
with these non-human actors on the front lines.
You're hitting on a crucial point.
Yeah.
One of the things that jumped out at me from the research was how NHIs are blurring the lines
Okay.
between traditional cybercrime and nation-state attacks.
Yeah.
It's becoming increasingly difficult to distinguish between the two.
So how can we even begin to protect ourselves in this new landscape?
Yeah, it's a good question.
It sounds like traditional security measures might not be enough.
You're right. Traditional approaches are falling short.
Okay.
We need to be thinking about cybersecurity in a completely new way.
Yeah.
The research suggests a shift
Okay.
from a reactive
Mm-hmm.
to a proactive approach.
What does that look like in practice?
It's about anticipating threats before they even emerge.
Okay.
This involves things like threat intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
where organizations and governments gather and analyze information about potential threats from various sources.
Okay.
They're essentially building a global network of digital detectives,
Right.
constantly monitoring the landscape for signs of trouble.
That sounds pretty sophisticated.
Yeah.
But what about the average person? What can we do to protect ourselves?
That's where education and awareness come in.
Okay.
You need to be savvy about who you're interacting with online
Right.
and what information you're sharing.
So being cautious about phishing emails and suspicious links is more important than ever.
Absolutely. And it's not just about avoiding scams.
Okay.
It's about understanding how NHIs operate
Yeah.
and how they can be used to manipulate or deceive us.
So we need to be critical thinkers, questioning what we see online and not taking things at face value,
Right.
especially if we're interacting with a bot or a virtual agent.
Exactly, because as we'll see, when we delve deeper into the world of virtual agents and chatbots,
Yeah.
the lines between human and non-human are becoming increasingly blurred.
All right, that's a perfect segue into our next section.
Yeah.
Let's talk about chatbots and how they fit into this whole landscape of non-human identities.
Let's dive in.
Mm.
It's a fascinating and rapidly evolving area full of both exciting possibilities and potential pitfalls.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Okay. So we're stepping into the world of virtual agents and chatbots.
Okay.
You probably encounter them everywhere online.
Right.
Customer service,
Yeah.
shopping sites, even social media.
Yeah, it seems like every website I visit these days has a chatbot popping up ready to help.
Right.
But how much of that is genuine help and how much is just clever marketing?
That's a great question, and it really gets to the heart of what makes chatbots so fascinating and potentially concerning.
Yeah.
We're essentially talking about software designed to mimic human conversation,
Mm-hmm.
to make you feel like you're interacting with a real person.
But how does that actually work? I mean, some of these chatbots are so realistic, it's almost creepy.
Yeah, the technology has come a long way, especially in the area of natural language processing, or NLP.
Okay.
This allows chatbots to understand and interpret human language in a much more nuanced way,
Great.
making the conversation feel more natural.
So it's not just about pre-programmed responses anymore.
No.
These chatbots are actually learning and adapting as they interact with us.
Exactly. The more data they gather, the more sophisticated they become.
Okay.
And that's where the line between helpful assistant and potential manipulator starts to get blurry.
Okay, now I'm starting to get a little uneasy.
Sure.
What are some of the risks we need to be aware of when it comes to these advanced chatbots?
One major concern highlighted in the research is data privacy.
Okay.
These chatbots are collecting vast amounts of information about us,
Yeah.
our preferences, our habits, even our personal details.
It's like those chatbots are becoming our digital confidants. But we don't always know who's listening in or how that information might be used.
Right. Imagine a chatbot that knows your shopping habits,
Yeah.
your health concerns, your political leanings.
Right.
That data is incredibly valuable, and it could be used to target you with personalized advertising,
Okay.
manipulate your opinions, or even discriminate against you.
That's a pretty chilling thought.
Yeah.
It seems like the more realistic these chatbots become, the more vulnerable we are to their influence.
And it gets even more complex with the rise of AI-powered chatbots.
Okay.
These are bots that can learn and evolve on their own, making decisions that their creators might not even anticipate.
So who's responsible when a chatbot makes a mistake or acts in a way that's harmful or unethical?
That's a question we're still grappling with as a society.
Right.
The technology is evolving faster than our legal and ethical frameworks.
Oh, wow.
We need to start thinking about how to regulate these AI-powered chatbots,
Okay.
how to ensure transparency and accountability, and how to protect individuals from potential harm.
It sounds like we're entering a whole new era of ethical considerations, not just in terms of technology, but also in terms of how we define our relationships with these non-human entities.
Absolutely. It's forcing us to rethink the very concept of identity and agency in the digital age.
So what can we do about it? It's easy to feel overwhelmed by all of this.
Sure.
Are there any practical steps we can take to protect ourselves when interacting with chatbots?
Absolutely. First and foremost, awareness is key.
Okay.
Be mindful of the information you're sharing with the chatbot.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, do they really need to know this?
So treat chatbots with the same caution we'd use when sharing personal information online in general.
Right.
Don't overshare, be skeptical of requests for sensitive data, and always double-check the source.
Exactly. And whenever possible, opt for chatbots offered by reputable companies with clear privacy policies.
Okay.
Do your research and choose wisely.
It's like anything else online. We need to be informed consumers and make choices that align with our values and priorities. But how can you even tell if you're interacting with a human or a bot these days?
That's getting increasingly difficult, but there are some clues you can look for.
Okay.
Bots often respond very quickly using perfect grammar and punctuation.
Right.
They might struggle with complex questions or go off on tangents,
Yeah.
and they typically have a limited range of responses.
So if the conversation starts to feel a little too scripted or robotic, that might be a red flag.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask directly, are you a chatbot?
Okay.
Reputable companies should be transparent about their use of bots.
Okay, so we've talked about the darker side of chatbots.
Yeah.
But the research also highlights some positive potential. What are some of the benefits that these virtual agents offer?
One area where chatbots are already making a positive impact is customer service.
Okay.
They can provide 247 support, instant responses, and personalized recommendations.
Right.
This can free up human agents to focus on more complex issues.
I can see how that would be helpful, especially for businesses that operate globally or deal with a high volume of customer inquiries.
Right, and think about the potential in areas like healthcare and education.
Oh, yeah.
Chatbots could provide personalized medical advice,
Okay.
deliver educational content, and even offer emotional support.
It's like having a virtual assistant for every aspect of our lives.
Yeah.
But of course, we need to ensure these bots are developed and deployed responsibly with appropriate safeguards in place.
Absolutely. There's a delicate balance between harnessing the power of these technologies and mitigating the potential risks.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what makes this field so fascinating.
Right.
It's a constant push and pull between innovation and responsibility.
This whole conversation is making me think about the broader societal implications.
Yeah.
As NHIs become more sophisticated and integrated into our lives, what does it mean for the future of work relationships, even our sense of self?
Those are some of the big questions that researchers are grappling with.
Yeah.
And there are no easy answers. But one thing is clear. We're on the cusp of a major societal transformation.
It's like we're entering a whole new era of existence where the lines between physical and digital, human and non-human, are becoming increasingly blurred.
Exactly, and it's up to us to shape this new reality to ensure that it's one that benefits humanity as a whole.
It's mind-blowing to think about how we're essentially redefining what it means to be human in this digital age.
Yeah, it really is.
As these non-human identities become more integrated into our lives, it's raising questions we've never had to consider before.
Exactly. And one of the biggest questions is, what happens to our sense of self when the lines between human and non-human become blurred?
Right? Yeah.
You have to wonder if our interactions with these increasingly sophisticated NHIs are going to change how we perceive ourselves and our place in the world.
It's almost like we're entering a new phase of evolution, where technology is not just a tool, but an extension of ourselves.
And with any evolution, there are going to be growing pains. Think about the potential impact on the job market.
Okay.
As NHIs become more capable, will they displace human workers, leading to economic disruption and social unrest?
Right.
Or will they create new opportunities and enhance human productivity?
It's a question that's already causing anxiety for many people.
Yeah.
And the research suggests that this trend is only going to accelerate.
Right. And it's not just about jobs.
Okay.
Think about the potential impact on relationships.
Okay.
Will we see a rise in human NHI relationships where people develop emotional attachments to their virtual assistants, or even romantic relationships with AI companions?
Some people might find that idea unsettling, but others might embrace it.
Yeah.
It really challenges our preconceived notions of what a relationship can be.
And it raises ethical questions about consent, agency, and the nature of intimacy in a digital age.
It seems like the more we delve into this topic, the more questions we uncover. And it's clear that we're only just beginning to understand the full implications of this NHI revolution.
Absolutely, we're in uncharted territory.
Right.
And it's crucial that we approach this with both curiosity and caution.
Yeah.
We need to be asking the tough questions, engaging in open dialogue,
Yeah.
and considering the long-term consequences of our actions.
It's not just about embracing the shiny new technology.
Right.
It's about ensuring that it's used ethically and responsibly in a way that benefits all of humanity.
I couldn't agree more, and that brings us back to the importance of individual empowerment.
Okay.
We can't rely on governments or corporations to make the right choices for us.
Right.
We need to equip ourselves with the knowledge and skills to navigate this complex landscape and to advocate for a future that aligns with our values.
So what are some practical things that listeners can do to be more proactive in shaping this digital future? Where do we even begin?
Well, first and foremost, I encourage everyone to stay informed.
Okay.
Read articles, listen to podcasts, engage in conversations about these issues. The more you understand about how these technologies work and the potential implications, the better equipped you'll be to make informed choices.
So it's about becoming more digitally literate, not just in terms of using the technology,
Right.
but also in terms of understanding its impact on society.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
Challenge assumptions.
Okay.
Think critically about the information you're consuming.
Right.
The internet is full of both valuable insights and misinformation.
Yeah.
It's up to each of us to discern the difference.
It's about developing that critical thinking muscle, being able to sift through the noise and identify what's truly important.
And don't underestimate the power of your voice.
Okay.
Engage in conversations with your friends, family, and colleagues.
Okay.
Contact your elected officials and share your concerns.
Yeah.
Support organizations that are working to promote ethical technology development.
It's about using our collective voice to demand transparency, accountability, and responsible innovation.
Exactly. We're all stakeholders in this digital future.
Right.
We all have a role to play in shaping it.
I think that's a powerful message to leave our listeners with.
Yeah.
This deep dive has been a journey of exploration, but it's also a call to action.
The future is not something that's happening to us.
Right.
It's something we're creating together.
Yeah.
And by understanding the complexities of non-human identities, we can make more informed choices and shape a future that is both innovative and humane.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the technical aspects of NHIs to the ethical and societal implications.
We have.
We've explored the risks and the opportunities, the challenges and the possibilities. And I hope you've come away from this with a deeper understanding of this rapidly evolving landscape.
Remember, the digital world is constantly changing.
Yeah.
But one thing remains constant: the power of human choice.
Right.
Let's use that power wisely.
Yeah.
And create a digital future that we can all be proud of.
That's an inspiring note to end on.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of non-human identities.
You're welcome.
We hope this has sparked your curiosity, challenged your assumptions, and empowered you to engage in the conversation about the future we're creating together.